So it's 9 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Before I hand it over to our presenter today, I'd like to go over just a few housekeeping procedures. When you are not speaking or asking questions, please stay on mute so there isn't any background noise to disrupt the presentation. Video is 100% optional, but this is a discussion, so sometimes it is nice to see a face with the voice. There's a button I'd like you all to avoid hitting on your screen. It looks like a stylized laptop with an up arrow at the bottom of your screen. Please do not click that, as that will share your screen and interrupt the presentation. If and when you have a question or discussion point, you can either unmute yourself and chime in, use the raise hand feature, or put the question into the chat and I will prompt Rob. If you have any technical issues, please put those into the chat and I'll do my best to help you through those. Just be aware that most of the time those issues stem from your own Wi-Fi connections. We do not have anyone who's dialed in today, so I don't need to talk about that. And finally, we are recording the session, so if you need to refer back to it or want to share it with any of your colleagues who were not able to join this morning, it will be available on our YouTube channel later this week. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our presenter today, Rob Rowe. He's the PGA Director of Instruction at Bent Creek out in Lancaster College and the coach for the Lancaster Bible College golf team. Rob, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Matt. And I want to just say thank you again to Jeff and Matt, you guys, for helping me set this up. The support, just honestly, is really awesome. And, honestly, I want to share this too. When I got into the golf business like 8 years ago, I had some bad experiences with a couple PGA pros, and I saw like arrogance. I saw different things like that. And I was very resistant to the PGA in the very beginning, but a lot of my mentors at that point were like, listen, it's not all like that. And so when I got involved with the PGA, I started meeting a ton of really, really, really good quality people. And Matt and Jeff, I just want to thank you because nothing but support and love from you guys. And you guys are very humble and very supportive in helping us all grow. So that was really cool. And it's been awesome to be a part of the PGA and connecting with a bunch of different people. So I just want to say thank you. All right, cool. All right. So just for who's on here, and I know there's might be a couple more people that might jump on. I'm just kind of curious, of the coaches that are on here, are you guys assistant pros? Are you guys teachers, coaches? Like or head pros? Like what are your roles at the country clubs that you're working with?
Michael, go ahead. Why don't you introduce yourself to Robbie? Walkovitz, you still on there, bud? You can unmute there.
Chime in here.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Johnny.
Hey, my name is Johnny Martin. I'm actually I'm the head of outside operations at a club in close to the beaches of Delaware. I was an assistant golf pro at places before, and then so I do teach like slightly now, but it's like not really under my job description anymore. So I do it more like before or after my shift, essentially.
Yeah.
But I sort of dig what I'm doing now. So anyway, yeah,
Awesome.
I'm glad I'm here. Thanks. Yep.
Cool, of course, man.
Dan, you on? Dan Mars?
I can just keep rolling. That's not a problem either.
Oh, there you go. Dan's
Hey,
on.
sorry, I couldn't. Yeah, I teach at Crossgates. I teach part-time there. I was assistant at Huntington Valley for a few years, and then I got into a sales position. I teach part-time on the side.
Awesome. Cool. Yep.
And Pat Buckus texted me his microphone's not allowing him to talk, but Pat's the head golf professional at Whitford Country Club. Was at Tavistock for quite a while. Does a lot of teaching and coaching at the club when he can.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Okay, guys. So long story short, a little bit about me. I was hired at Bent Creek at 22 years old. It was a country club that I grew up playing at. But during that time of when they built a teaching facility here, it was for Bob Kramer, who when I was in college, they brought him here and he took me under his wing and started teaching me a lot about how to run clinics and different things like that. The timing was perfect for me because at that point I was starting to really fall in love with the game of golf when it comes to teaching, not just playing. And he taught me a lot about that. And he ended up getting a job, I think it was at Indian Valley. And so at that point, our head pro was like, hey, Rob, why don't you put in your resume? So I put my resume in. There's like 23 other people that put it in as well. And they gave me a chance, like a 1-year contract here. And I've been here since. It's been an awesome facility to be a part of. But what happened was my gift was always to teach. So it could be anything, like teaching anything. It just didn't matter what it was. As long as I understood it, I could teach it. But the problem was I figured this out once I became the head golf coach at Lancaster Bible College. I became the head golf coach at Lancaster Bible College, and I realized I had like a month to get these kids ready to play in the conference championship. And there's only so much you can teach them. Like you can't be changing swings or grips or different things like that when you have a month to get ready for the biggest competition of the year. So I figured out pretty quickly there's a difference between teaching and coaching. And the teaching, I like to simply say, is like the X's and O's. It's like, when you take it back, have the club here, have it on this particular angle, and then all the different things that come with the swing, as you guys know. But the coaching side of it is not just the swing stuff. It's, it's motivation. It's how to set goals properly, how to evaluate your game to figure out what you need to actually work on and what you need to actually bring to a lesson, how to prepare for a golf tournament, what it looks like to take a practice round and what to do when you're out there. And so much more, as you guys know. So I figured out, like, for the first 5-6 years of me coaching or teaching at Bent Creek, a lot of my players there were super solid. Like, they developed into really good golfers. Like you would see like the results in the driving range or the putting green, like, man, these kids should be shooting a lot better. And then they get into tournaments and their scores wouldn't match. And I was struggling at that point, figuring out, like, what am I missing? And so I figured out I was missing the coaching side of the game. I was just teaching them. I wasn't really coaching them. And as you know, that sometimes you make the mistake and a player, like, you start teaching them and you get too technical and they really needed a coach, but then they get so in their head about the technique and et cetera. So I started learning through some mistakes, some failures, but then I started figuring out, like, teaching and coaching are both equally important. And so this spring, or I guess it was this winter, I started implementing some of these strategies that I've learned over the years. And I kind of had it all in my head, but just didn't organize it. So I started using it with my college golf team and the different things we used to do with it. And what happened was one of our players won 2 of the 4 tournaments of the spring, and one of them being our conference championship. And I knew, like, okay, this is working. I started doing this with some high school players, and I started seeing the same thing. And so that's what I want to get into today and start sharing with you guys, like, what I started working with and what I started developing to help players out. So I decided to create a video series on a website called school.com, where it's like a video platform that you can organize things into different lessons and curriculums and things like that. And I put, like, all the things in my head, just threw it, like, onto, instead of on paper, on the screen, if you will. I started doing a lot of videos and organizing in a way that I turned into, like, actually a course, like a 6-week course that players will go through, and there's videos and lessons per week. And so as I started doing this, the purpose of it then was, I just want to provide something for my players to have when they are, like, let's say I say to them, hey, listen, we're going to work on, goal setting this week. I want you to go watch these videos, because it was tough for me to add all of these coaching tips in a lesson when they're hitting driver 50 yards right, or they can't make a 3-footer, or they're struggling with their chipping. Like, I just felt like I didn't have enough time to share how to prepare for a tournament and how to set goals properly and how to develop practice plans during a 30 or a 60-minute lesson that had so many technical things that need to be improved. And so I wanted to create videos that I could refer them to. And the feedback I was getting right away from it was, we really like these videos, and it's clear, it's simple. And then I was thinking, well, we can develop a platform or a structure or a program around these videos. So I basically barely marketed it to my players in the beginning just because I wanted to see how it was going. So what happened was I started creating a program around this called the Shepherd Golf Coach. And the idea behind the Shepherd is it's more so of like you're walking alongside of somebody and not just kind of like seeing them, once a week or whatever. And if you have 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 students or more, it's hard to stay connected with each one of them as much as you'd like, because you do have a family. If you're married, have kids or whatever, like there is like a family balance. So I wanted to create the videos just to help give them some access to something if I'm not able to talk to them. And so I created this program, the Shepherd Golf Coach, and I tiered it into 4 different tiers. And I'd love to share with you how it's worked in each one of those tiers and then talk about how you could utilize something like this. So what I did was I sold like a membership just to the videos for like $150, and it just gave them access for the entire year to look at all these different videos and go through it themselves. However, what I found was players like on their own, especially like a high school kid or college kid, they're probably not going to go through the videos by themselves. There's only going to be like a select few, maybe 10, 20% will actually do that. So I figured out that if I set up like meetings where, whether it's on Zoom or in person, where like, let's say we've been doing Monday nights at 7:00. We all meet in a classroom at the Bible College and we go through, and it could be like at your golf course, in your indoor facility. It could be outside. I mean, whatever. But what we've been doing was we've been doing these meetings once a week or bi-weekly, and just going over these topics and walking together through them. And I'll tell you, my experience in that has been such a game changer with the kids. Like the experience and the feedback I've been getting is the players have been loving just sitting outside of a golf course setting and talking through like what they're going through on the course, talking through the emotions, their mindsets. Like 2 weeks ago, a kid brought up a question. He said, can we talk about routine? We talked about routines for like almost an hour, but we laid out different things about a routine and why it's good, how routines have to fit personality types and the way people are. Some people that are super controlling and like this super structure, and you have people that are free spirits. And we literally talked about both sides of that and the pros and cons. And so the feedback again was having these videos to support the meetings and giving the meeting structure has been so important to developing these kids, because we can focus on the golf technique during the lesson, but we can focus on the coaching side of it during the meetings. And it's been wonderful. So I've been doing those 2, and then I've been doing like what I call like you can call it like the daily walk with the players. I've been selecting like 5 or 6 players that I felt like maybe they were getting ready to play in college, or getting ready to like get recruited to play in college or whatever. If you felt like their timeline was like, hey, this year is really important, I offered them something where it's like a daily walk with me where, we're talking almost every single day, talking not just about the golf swing and what their swing's doing or whatever, but talking about their practice plans and talking about like how they're preparing for a tournament that's a week away, and just getting their mind right to give them the best chance to play successful. That's also been really nice. So what I'd love to do here is to begin sharing with you guys like this structure and how you can utilize something like this yourself. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Okay, so and does anybody have any questions with this before I keep pushing a little bit more forward? I just want to give you the background, the motive behind creating this, what we call the Shepherd Golf Coach program.
No, just for the group, Robbie showed me his curriculum and the tools that he uses, and it's really terribly impressive. I think, all of us that have been in that space at one time or another, we've kind of had all these thoughts and taken our time to do certain things, but the amount of information and the curriculum that he's built out is really impressive. And I think any of our coaches, it would be a great model to follow or to join in on, just because the way it's laid out. And I think it's something that is any coach could probably fit it into what their plan is or their program is with their kids or with their players. So kudos to Robbie, because I'm going to have to jump off here in a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to kind of give him a little plug on all the work that he's done and what I've seen so far on the tools that he's built. So, you know, the folks that are on the call are the beneficiaries of this conversation. So take the opportunity to kind of have a sidebar with Robbie after the call and get to understand it a little bit more than just today's seminar. So well done, Robbie.
Thanks, Jim. Yes, what I'm looking to do here is I'm actually going to share with you what this program looks like online. I can share the screen. I'll show you. We'll go through it pretty quickly. And then I want to kind of open up the floor for conversation about how each one of you could utilize this platform and different things like that. So I'm going to go ahead right now and share the screen. Here we go. Screen share. Boom. Okay. All right. So on School.com, it's pretty cool. You can create like an online community, online platform. And I'm pretty sure, can everybody see like what I'm looking at right now? I'm looking at a screen that I just switched to the community tab, classroom. Am I good?
Yeah, we can. Yep.
All right, cool. Okay. So underneath here, I have like, if you click on the Shepherd Golf Coach program, I laid out like a welcome tab, and in each one of these, almost every single one of these is going to have a video attached to it. So the iceberg model is we look at the results on top of the surface, like that's what you shoot in a tournament or whatever. But there's so much that goes underneath there, and it's the planning, the preparation, the practice. And I learned this from John Wooden, who is one of the most winningest basketball coaches in college basketball history from UCLA from years ago. But I felt as if he did such a good job with his players, not necessarily talking about winning, but talking about the process, like focus more on the process and let the results take care of themselves. So I went through there and kind of laid out in the welcome tab, like what are the different things going on. I have some interaction videos and things like that, that players can literally just click on and they start watching this. But if you see here, like I will minimize everything so I can just scroll quickly. These are all the different tabs that are on here, and there's going to be more. What's fun about this is I can continually add to this platform. Like eventually I'm going to be doing interviews with different coaches and people that become Shepherd coaches as well. I'm going to be doing interviews with them to promote them on the page, but also so that players can learn from different people. I think it's important to hear different opinions because the way somebody else said something could click. And I think that's super important. So like under the planning, I have it all like week one, and it's how to set goals and what is a goal, and how to actually plan well and how to evaluate your game. And again, they're all like videos in this way. And then I do have some where there is writing underneath as well. So then like week 2, you have preparation and you have the 70-30 secret to success. For example, then you would have underneath here, like I have points written up that like almost like a little like something that players can actually use to journal and things like that. Like a little struggling to find the word, like a little system or whatever that they can look through. I had different videos talking about journaling and setting yourself up for success. And it goes all the way down. Like, and these are all videos and different things I'm learning. Even as I'm teaching throughout the weeks, I'm learning like different things I want to add. Like, oh, you know what? I need to add like the practice formula. Like I didn't even put that in here, but I'm going to be adding that very shortly. That talks about not when you not just to hit balls when you practice, but to do like a 7-ball test to start, and then you just measure whatever those results are. Let's say you're chipping and you're chipping to a certain hole and you hit 7 chip shots and you get an average distance from the hole, and then you rep it out for a little bit, then you retest it. Like I call it the practice formula, just because you've gotten better. I think it's important for players to set benchmarks and retest to make sure they've actually improved. Because if you do that, you set yourself up for success and to build confidence. I was a player that I practiced for hours and hours, but I never did that. And I would leave the golf course beating myself up. And like, I didn't even know if I got better today. I just put 8 hours in, and that's toxic. So I learned that the hard way. And so I'm trying to help players and even coaches develop in this. And so again, here's more things about tracking goals and or tracking stats and stuff like that. And tournament golf, how to prepare for a tournament, what it looks like 7 days leading up to a tournament, what to do in practice rounds. I have diagrams drawn on the whiteboard behind me. So again, everything is very detailed, laid out. And there's different mental toughness videos, and there's going to be more posted on here. I have different benchmark tests on here. Like some of them are like, if you look here, you can see like I already have a diagram laid out and like an Excel sheet, and I give it like a points game, and that's something that they can do. I have a bunch of different ones like this. Different drills for the driving range. I create like a deck of cards before. So for example, like I just put pictures of those cards, and these already have drills. Like you can click on it, it makes it bigger. Wait till it loads. And not all these drills are my drills. Like these are drills that I've seen, and that, these are my favorite putting drills. I'm going to go ahead and add that. So they're all on here as well, or some of them are on here. And I also, at the very bottom, I have PGA Tour averages. I put this in the deck of cards as well. But I find this to be so important because if somebody doesn't define what good is, they could really struggle mentally. Like I was a guy, well, I'll tell you a story. I was working with a kid that played at Penn State, and he hits a shot from 150 yards to 20 feet, and he's complaining about it. And I'm like, dude, what's wrong with that? He's like, it's not close enough. I said, well, what's the PGA Tour average between 150 and 175 yards? And he's like, I don't know, 10 feet. And here it shows it's 27 feet average from the fairway, and it's 43 feet from the rough. So when I showed him that, he's like, he realized that his expectation of what good was too high. And I've had different experiences like that with myself personally. So I decided to put these things in here as well. Different on-course challenges, et cetera. And the cool thing is, again, like I said, you can keep adding to this platform and keep growing and building it. So the purpose, and does anybody have any questions with this before I continue on?
Doesn't look like anything yet.
All right, cool. All right, guys. So, and honestly, the confession that I have to make is once I started seeing this, and I spoke with some different people, some different mentors about how this could grow. My confession is I started getting, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. I started getting distracted by how much this could grow and how much money it could bring in. And so what happened was I started praying on it. I just didn't feel right in my heart. And I really believe God started to reveal to me, like, this isn't about how much money I can make. This is about serving not only the players, but also the coaches, helping develop the coaches and helping give them some support in some ways that can help generate some revenue for them, but also to add a little bit more value to what they're doing. Because I don't want this to be just about me. I want this to be about like all of us growing together when it comes to this coaching and helping build up other players as well. So, like I said, the purpose of this is to give this online curriculum to the PGA pros so they can use it to add more value to what they're already doing. And even though you might know how to set goals perfectly, but maybe it's nice to just have, videos that talk about what to do in a practice round. So like you could just share with your players, hey, there's a couple of videos here that I want you to see about how to develop a routine for a practice round and what to do when you're out there. Because if you struggle like I did with finding enough time to talk about all this stuff during a 25 or 30-minute lesson or a 60-minute lesson, this is nice to be able to have videos to refer to, or even a curriculum to follow for doing meetings. So I want to support the community in that way. But also I wanted to help you or allow you to offer this to your students so you can make a little extra revenue on the side. And I'll explain a little bit about how I did that. But also I want to develop a community within this Shepherd Coach community where we meet monthly and discuss different things on Zoom calls or whatever about how to add more value to our students and different coaching methods and philosophies and things like that. So, so what I'd like to share now, if nobody has any questions, is about how you can utilize this to make money for yourself and to add more value to your player. So before I get going into this, does anybody have any questions regarding this at all? I'll just pause for a second to wait on you guys.
Rob, is this platform for like teachers, or is this specifically for golf that you utilize?
So this here, you can utilize this for anything. So school.com,
Yeah.
people are doing it for pickleball. People are doing it for how to get better haircuts. It's just literally, it's for anything.
Cool.
They have a flat fee every month that you pay, and then you can create your own community and your platform on there. Which honestly, for them, I think it was brilliant because it gives teachers the ability to do stuff like this, and for them, it's a revenue generator. So I think it's beautiful on both ends. Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Can I
So
chime in real quick?
yeah, please do. Yes.
I just want to say I've been listening and I was like, it was sort of goes along with what Matt just said. I was thinking about this more, like what you're saying, like less, like not so much as golf as like other aspects of your life. It's just, you know, like what you're saying, a lot of like life advice, not just golf stuff. And I appreciate that. And I also thought it was cool where you said that, you know, you were starting to, you realized like maybe it wasn't to make money so much as it was to like sort of serve others. And I'm with that. So yeah, I think it's cool. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, of course. And I'm telling you, man, it was so easy to get distracted in a way with that, because I was like doing the number. You start plugging and chugging, and you know, we've all done this even with like you know, doing clinics or whatever. Like, okay, if I have 25 juniors show up and I'm charging this is what I make. And it was just very distracting, and I just didn't feel right in my heart. And I started realizing like the purpose of this is to help build up other people, and also support them and give them you know, different ways to make money. And so I'm excited to share with you how I did that. And so a part of this is like, if I click the classroom tab, I don't have a picture for it yet, but I have some here. It's called Becoming a Shepherd Coach. And so inside of here, I have different business models. I have different things going on. And so basically, what's going to happen here is I'm going to start promoting this to PGA pros. And the idea is for them to become a shepherd coach where they can utilize this curriculum and utilize the business models that I've already tested and found successful. Like, for example, this year, I barely marketed it to people. And like I probably maybe 20, 25 people or something like that, maybe even less. And through like this system, the business model that I made like, I think it was like $12,000 this year, like on the side. And I really didn't even try to promote it, more than like just to like my little circle of people. Like, and even in that circle, it was like the circle of the circle. Like I didn't even promote it to everybody. I just kind of shared it with people that I thought it would be good with. And just by doing that, I found it really helpful. Because like, for example, you know, like, whether it's you're sending your kids to a school, or whether it's, you know, if you have a project in the house or, you know, something like that, you just need to make a little extra money to support whatever. I just found this to be really nice. And the dollar per hour situation was really nice too, because like, there's not a lot of time that you have to put into it, because I've already done all that background work that you don't really have to do. Like, you don't have to create videos. You can just utilize what's already here. So, basically, like how to become a shepherd coach. What we do is I'm right now offering this to the first 12 coaches that come in. A part of this, if you're interested in becoming a shepherd coach, I want you to send me like not only an email or a text or whatever, but also share with me your resume, so I know like when you do become a shepherd coach, like so I can promote that in there. Like, you know, so and so played his college golf here, or he went to PGM school here, and he's been working at these courses, and these are the different programs he's run, et cetera, et cetera. I think that'll be nice that players and people know like who they are listening to, or who they're working with, or who's a part of the shepherd coaching program. And also it'd be nice for me to know who's a part of it. And so a part of this too, like what I have on here is I have it like I'm developing all the legal things here as well, because I don't want it to just be like a quick high five and like kind of like a word of mouth thing. I want to make this a little bit more legit, where it's not everything is clearly laid out, and I'm going through a trademark process right now, as well as like agreement letters, so that coaches that become shepherd coaches, they understand you know, what the roles are and different things like that, what's expected, and everything is clearly communicated. So what basically happens is I'm going to charge a coach $250 to start, and that's going to provide like a 90-minute meeting that we're actually going to go through the course together, and that's going to be for the year. And then after that, it's only going to be $100 per year for a coach to be a part of this program. The things that you get being a part of this program are you get to, we're going to have like a monthly workshop meeting, whether it's on Zoom, maybe eventually it might be in person, I don't know, but it's going to be where we all get together like on Zoom or whatever for, 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And we just go through, we just share with what we're going through as coaches. And I'll probably bring a topic, and then after that, we'll just let the floor open up so we can all talk about different things that we're doing, different programs we're running, different models that are working and not working. Maybe it's on the business side of it. Maybe it's, hey man, I'm really struggling getting this kid to pick smarter targets on the golf course. So, what can we do there? And this whole thing can help support. We can help support each other. So I'm trying to create a community within the Shepherd Golf Coach program that we can help build each other up and what we know, and share with each other. And then also a part of this is you can then turn and sell this curriculum and make a profit. So the idea would be, let's say you have 10 students and you want to sell this curriculum to them. I'm still working on the pricing, but I believe it's going to be $150 per student for the year to get into this curriculum. And I've got to figure out the legal side of it, with what's the correct percentage to give. What I'm looking is I'd love to do 50-50 where the coach gets $75 and then the Shepherd Coaching LLC would get $75. The idea is I don't want to, I was thinking about making that a bigger number, meaning selling the program for $200 or $250 or whatever to the students. But I found that on the coaching end, it would be very difficult to package something like this together if, for them to make a profit. So I wanted to bring it down so where there's different things that you guys can do with this to generate revenue, and that it makes it look appealing to the other coaches and stuff like that, or the other students. So the idea is inside of here, actually, let me click on this page first. This is the exclusive coach value. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So we have the monthly Shepherd Coaching, which I said. And then I also said here, this is interesting. So I'm going to have incentives to sell memberships and stuff. And I don't know if it's going to be 30 memberships, 20, 15. I don't know. I'm just trying to feel this out still. But if a coach sells a certain number of curriculums, what I'm going to do is I'm going to promote them on the Shepherd Coach website, exclusively, where we do an interview, and potentially I would either come to your golf course, you would come to mine, or whatever. We shoot a video series together, going through some things and talking. And again, the idea would be just to help promote, and that can be conversed between me and the coach. And again, some of these things are being worked out right now as we speak on my end. But then also here, when it comes to earning bonuses, I want to incentivize coaches to use this more. So if a coach were to sell 20, they would get an extra bonus on top of that, for profit's sake. So the nice thing is it's a way that you can grow revenues, developing something and selling something that basically you don't really have to do the work for. It's just more so promoting it. And again, the promotion of it is not necessarily so that you can make more money. It's adding more value to your players and what you've already do. And also what I found is it made my life easier where I already had the video created. So I could just share this with, let's say one of my students, he needed to learn how to evaluate his game better. And if we had a quick lesson and it was I did something where, let's say it was a 30-minute lesson, we had to work on driver and putting. And I said, listen, I need you to go watch this video now. And they would go do that and they would give me the feedback. So it was nice to add more value to them, but also help them take more ownership of their game. So I thought that was really good. Now, basically, like I written back here, the initial investment is going to be basically $250 for the year to start. But after that, it's $100 per year to be involved with it. On here, you have a 90-minute Zoom meeting with me. And if there's 5 or 6 coaches that sign up, we'll kind of all do it together, that we can work through it together there. And I run you through everything. I'm talking all the details of what the program's like and the business models and what has worked for me, because certain things didn't work for me and certain things did. And so I kind of worked out all those nooks and crannies already. And so from there, let me look here. Structure, let me see if this is ready. Okay, so this is kind of like the structure. So basically, you would, if you're interested in this, you would go ahead and buy you would become a Shepherd Golf Coach, the initial investment there. But the thing is, if you sold this to like 4 different players, you would already be in a profit. You would have already made $300. And so already you're in a good spot there. And then after that, what happens is, I need to correct some of the numbers that are in here. However, I want to share with you, this is the program that I did this year. And so I offered this program in 2025, or this year. And what happened was, I created it into 4 different programs. Like I said, it was like just the video access, then it was videos and meetings, and then it was like customizable Shepherd programs where I was walking alongside the players. So year 1, what I did was, I gave the players access to the curriculum for $159 because $9 was the sales tax side of it. And then after that, I did like the Birdie program was they would have the meetings, access to the meetings, and they would have access to the video course. Then underneath it was the customized Shepherd program. This is what I did. So the first one here, the Eagle program, you have, well, basically what they would do is I would get on a phone call with them at least once or twice a week. I would be talking with them almost every single day about what their plans were, what their swings were doing, how they're preparing for tournaments and all those different things. And so a part of this, what they would pay is they would have access to the videos. They would, I would give them a discount for the meetings. And then I would give them a 3-month exclusive and personalized Shepherd coaching access. I tried to do this in the past where it was like last year, but I didn't have videos and things prepared. And so it was like tough to keep it super organized. But with the videos, this has been super organized, this whole process of walking with players. So basically I was selling this to them for $250 a month, plus the other different things that they were doing, like the access to the videos and the meetings. And so the total investment they were making was $975, but I would not charge them that up front. I would just charge it like monthly. And the feedback I've been getting on this has been wonderful. It's been like the parents and the players have been loving the daily interaction. They've been loving me holding them accountable. I saw a stat somewhere that it was like a person's chance of success is, I think it's like 30 or 35% on their own. But once you have an accountability partner, it jumps up to 70 or 75%. So just having somebody to hold them accountable made it so much better and gave them such a better chance to be successful. And I've been seeing that in my students. And then the Hole-in-One program is they have 7 months access to me. And I chose 7 months because April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So it's basically like the whole golf season for us Northerners. And that's what this came out to, roughly this, $1,500 basically. But I would charge them $200 per month. I would just do it by month. And so I want to show you now my year 1 revenue with just doing this. And what the cool thing was, I even did this with a team. One of the high school teams in our area, they allowed me to come alongside of them, and they wrote me a check for $2,000 just to like help their team out. So what I did was the PAR program, which was $150 a player, basically. I only had 8 players sign up for this. So this isn't like I'm showing you huge numbers and it's like, man, like look how much I made and there was huge numbers. It's like, no, like this is, I didn't look for many players doing this. I just kind of picked a handful of players. So the PAR program was 8 players charging, I charged them $150 for the video. And so 8 players, it's $1,200. The Birdie program, this is where they were coming to the meetings and they had access to the videos. And that was $300 a player basically. And that was $2,400. The Eagle program, I had 4 players doing this. And so that made me just under $4,000. In the Hole-in-One program, I only had 2 players doing that. And that was $3,100. Now, in my defense here, I'd love to do this with more players. However, if I'm teaching 45 hours a week and I have 3 kids under 5 years old at home, and I really, really value my marriage, I don't have time to do the Eagle and Hole-in-One program with 15, 20 players. Now, if I was only teaching maybe 20 hours a week or 10 hours a week because I was doing it on the side, I could pick up maybe 10, 15 players because I would have time to do that. But for me right now, I just figured, I want to add value to these players. I don't want to overload it where I can't give these guys value. What I did was I wanted to do 5 or 6 or 7 tops. So I basically picked 6 players that I felt this summer was very important for them because they were preparing for college or getting ready to go to college or they're in college and they just really wanted somebody to walk alongside of them. or if it's just a middle school kid to help develop them. I didn't do any of those this year, but anyway, so I chose 6 players and I talked to them, shared the whole format with them and their families, and they really liked the idea of me walking alongside of them and really helping them during this time. Because the thing that I found as well was when players have that really important summer, especially if it's a high school kid getting ready to play in college, they get so worked up about results that they need somebody walking alongside of them and actually like talking them off the ledge, talking them into a place of peacefulness of mind, into a place of focus on the process and not results. So many times these players are just beating themselves up so much because they shot 75 or they really wanted to shoot 72, or, oh man, I just can't break 78 right now. I'm just really struggling. It's like, well, you're thinking so much about the result. Like you're just putting so much pressure on the score where we really can't control score totally. Like you can't control how a ball bounces. You can't control if your ball hits a bump on the green and doesn't go in. You can't control if a wind gust. So it's just helping them realize, like, focusing on what they can and can't control. So I found the walking alongside of them programs to be very beneficial. And then one of the golf teams in the area wanted me to work with them and help develop them. And I've been working with them for a couple of years, and I shared with them this video platform, and he loved the idea of his players having access to the videos. And I've run, I think it was 4 meetings with them. So basically he wrote me a check for $2,000 and said, Rob, like whatever you want to do with it, let me know. So I said, well, let's do 4 meetings, just going over the curriculum. And then, so that's basically $200 an hour there. And then I did like $1,200 worth of additional group lessons, whether it's a couple playing lessons, whether it's, a couple like just clinics on the driving range or short game. And that helped generate some revenue there. So I would say probably 40% of what I could have marketed, or maybe 50%, I was able to generate $1,200 on the side, which was honestly really nice for me and my family this year. So anyways, I just want to share with you the business model behind this and how you can utilize it as well. Now, forgive me, I forgot to go on here and update this because I did update the pricing on this. Before I go on with this, kind of showing you what it could look like roughly for you, are there any questions with this program so far that you guys have? I don't want to just talk the whole time. I want to interact a little bit if you have any questions.
Nothing's come in yet.
Okay. All right. So I'll keep going. So one thing I learned this year, a couple things, I have a little tab written here, and this is all information that if a coach wants to become a Shepherd coach, I have all this laid out already so they can learn from what I felt as if I made mistakes. So in year 1, I charged $150 for the meetings and $150 for just to have access to the course. I didn't like that. Like after I did it a couple months in, I just felt like it was a little steep. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to charge $200 for the year to have access to not only the meetings, but also to the bi-weekly meetings. This year I did weekly meetings. And I felt like that was a little bit too much. Although I learned a lot doing it. I would definitely recommend doing it bi-weekly, whether you're doing it on Zoom or in person. It doesn't matter as long as you can connect with the players and actually talk with them face to face and let them talk. Like I would literally open up the floor and say, does anybody want to talk about anything today? I'd have a plan, a lesson plan in mind, but then sometimes it was like, man, I just really struggle in tournament golf. I struggle translating what I do in practice to play. And then we just talk through it, and all the players are struggling with something similar or have, and it was really nice for them to support each other, but also to learn about those things. So anyways, I like doing the bi-weekly meetings. And what I want to do is I want to charge $200 for the year for all of those things. And just a quick side note, when it comes to the partnership with a coach and the Shepherd Coach LLC, I only like the Shepherd Golf Coach would only like the company would only make money on the sale of the curriculum. So any other program that you would do outside of just selling the curriculum is all yours. Like you don't have to, there's only thing that like me or the Shepherd Golf Coach company is involved with is literally just the sale of the curriculum. So I've laid out different ways to make money using it, or however you want to, and you can customize your own things, but that's the only place I'm involved with financially. Everything else is on to you. So like I'll show you an example of that in a second. But basically what I'm going to do this year coming up is going to be $200 per year to have access to the videos and also to the meetings. But I'm also going to increase my lesson rate a little bit. But I'm going to allow the members of the Shepherd coaching program to still pay my old lesson rate. So the idea of that is I've been seeing how crucial and important these videos are and this type of coaching and this information is for players. So I've just decided to incentivize a little bit. And quite frankly, if they come to, 5 or 6 lessons for the year, they would have already paid for the curriculum themselves, like totally. So it's almost like a no-brainer for them to be a part of it. And that's what I want. I want them to be a part of the players to be a part of the Shepherd coaching program because I just see how much value it brings them. And I've seen it where when players didn't have that coaching side of it, they didn't maximize their potential. And so our job as coaches and teachers is to help maximize their potential. So basically, I'm going to turn my weekly meetings into bi-weekly meetings. And I'm probably going to do it. I'm going to start probably in February or March with those meetings instead of like end of April or early May. I'm going to work my way through like August or September. So bi-weekly or twice a month, basically for the meetings all the way through the golf season. But I like doing the meetings maybe a little bit earlier because it engages them sooner. Like you can talk about what their goals are for the year, how to set good goals, how to evaluate your game and what to work on moving into the spring and things like that. So I'm also going to be probably potentially doing some meetings on Zoom, not just in person. And I'm also going to be I'm going to continue doing the Eagle and the Hole in One program the same way. So I forgot to delete the rough draft in here. But basically, this is like the old model, but I'll show you the new model up top. So if you were to sell 12 curriculums by yourself, you're just going to sell 12 and you sell them, this is basically like what you would make off of it. Your total revenue from the curriculum would be roughly $1,200. I have a sales bonus for you that would be $100 just because you sold over 10 curriculums. And your revenue for just selling the curriculums would be $1,300. So you didn't do any work for it other than just promoting it and gave it to your players, which is a nice little like chunk of change right there. But then if you start doing the meetings, and if you had 8 players join the meetings, it's roughly $800 there. And then if you started doing, and you can just see here, as I scroll down, you can see the total revenue for both the Eagle and the Hole in One program. It can be $4,600 if you only had 3 students doing the Eagle and then 1 student doing the Hole in One program. So generally speaking, you can roughly make $6,750 off the top. And with the $250 for the expense for the year for you, it comes out to $6,500. So, which is honestly a nice chunk of change for only selling 12 curriculums. And what I did was I did this up top, and I did this where basically if we were to sell it for $150, not $200, it comes like, this is what it comes out to. And I did a split where it was like 75 would go to you, 75 would go to me. So you would make basically $900 there, and you would have all the players. You charge an additional $100 to join the meeting. So for you packaging this to your players, all you would do is you would charge $250 for the year, and they would have access to the course, and they would also have access to the meetings. So basically you would make $2,100 there off the top. Plus then you would have the $100 bonus for selling 10 curriculums. So you make $2,200 there right away. And that's just for the sales of the curriculums. And if you're only doing 12 hours, meaning like bi-weekly for 6 months, you're basically making $183 per hour. Now, and I apologize, guys. It's just been a really busy week on my end, family and things like that. But I was going to delete what's written down here, and I was going to just throw it like plug in this. But these are what's going to be more so what we're going to be looking at. Like you're going to be charging your players basically $250 per player for the meetings and for the curriculum. That's what these 2 numbers are right here. But this is what you make on your end. And so like I did this for a couple different, let me look here, a couple different sales. Like if you sold 25 curriculums, this is what it looks like on your end. So you would sell 25 curriculums at $150. You would make this almost $2,000, and you would charge $100 for the meetings as well. So you would make $4,600 just by doing meetings and just by doing selling the curriculums. So you can make basically $385 per hour hosting these meetings on your end. And that's just, I would say, almost like easy revenue there. The nice thing too is with this, if you did my, let me go back to this. If you did my system of the Eagle and Hole-in-One programs, you can make an additional, like if you had 3 students doing the Eagle One program or the Eagle program and 2 students doing the Hole-in-One program, that's the 3-month and the 7-month program. That's an additional $6,100. So basically you could roughly make an extra $10,000 just by hosting the meetings and just by having some players do the Eagle and Hole-in-One program. And it can always be different. So again, guys, this is just something to think about. Here are the curriculum bonuses for players, because I want to give some rewards for coaches that are selling a bunch of curriculums. I think it's awesome. Getting more players involved and stuff like that. So if you sell 10, you get $250. That actually, it's either going to be $250 or $100. Regardless, the 2-star coach, 20 sales, you get $500 bonus, $750 bonus for 30 sales, $1,000 bonus for 40 sales, and $1,200 for 50 sales. So, and the list can go on if you sell more, but the point is you get just extra revenue by just promoting the product as well. So that's the business side of it, which I just wanted to share with you based on like how I found success with the program personally, but then how I'm trying to help bring that success to you guys as well and to help everybody add more value to what they already do. And then also not only that, but to also help you generate some more revenue on your end, because honestly, in the golf business, if you can make a little extra, that's always a benefit. And the idea is, if you can make a little extra, not having to do a whole lot on your end, that's what's really encouraging as well. And what I wanted to say again is, if you become a Shepherd golf coach, and if you want to, just reach out to me directly. We can get connected there. If you want to become a Shepherd golf coach and start implementing this as well, you are going to have access to monthly Shepherd coach meetings. And the idea is all the Shepherd coaches kind of come together and we can just talk about what's going on with our players. And I'll bring a topic. And if anybody has any questions, that's the time to bring it, because I want us to all grow and develop during this process and keep players involved. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about getting in touch with different coaches and helping promote them as well. Whether I'm shooting a video series with them, doing an interview, I'm just excited to help everybody join and develop into, and just even if like you're already a great coach, but you want to improve a little bit in one area, I think this is going to be a great avenue for you to do that in. So I'm super grateful for Matt and Jeff allowing me to do this. So I'd love to open up the floor for, again, any questions regarding this. But I definitely wanted to show you guys the business model so you could see it for yourself. And I am working through the trademark and copyright and all those processes to begin the legal protection and all those different things to make this a little bit more legit.
If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and jump in. Rob, I'm curious, how long did it take you to get all the videos filmed and up there?
That's what everybody asks me. It took a bit, I'll tell you that. I just pretty much at the Langstree Bible College, I just like had the librarian there who helps us coach a little bit. I had her just like block me out of a room, and I just locked myself in there basically and just shot videos and videos and videos and videos and videos. So it took a while, but it's definitely fun to be able to give this to other people. Like I found even with my podcast, like I have a podcast titled one of the episodes is titled The Make Everything Mindset. And I shared a story on there about one of my college players and how having that mindset helped them in their short game. And I shared it on there. And I love being able to say to different players, hey, when you're on your way home, I want you to listen to this podcast. And it was just, so I didn't have to like re-say it all the time. And it didn't waste time during a lesson where we could be working on something technical. So it was definitely worth the grind to be able to do that. So, I like having a structure that PGA pros can get involved with. And I've spoken with Jeff, and I'm going to be promoting this to the Philly Junior Tour as well. But what I'm going to do is I don't want this to be about me taking any students. I don't want that at all. What I want is if a player actually just comes in because they see it through the Philly Junior Tour or a friend or whatever, I'm going to have them also give me the name of their coach so I can reach out to their coach personally and say, hey, this is the program that they're doing. And then here's how you can get involved in it, because I want coaches to be involved so they can walk through this with their players, that they can use it, because that coach might have 25 players and it's like, maybe this could help 20 of them and they could really develop more well-rounded players. And it just has, the curriculum's already there. So it's easy to just flow through it.
Great. Any other questions?
Johnny, I have a question for you, buddy. What are your thoughts on this? Because you're the ones that commented earlier. What are your thoughts on a program like this? And do you think it would benefit what you do?
Okay, so I don't teach a ton. So honestly, no, and I mostly like where I'm at. It's like I'm teaching like a lot of like beginner women and stuff, which I almost prefer. And part of that is because I'm not the world's greatest teacher, and I'm actually aware of that. So it's not like my whole thing. But I do just want to say again, I just like the idea of this, like some of the things you were sharing where about like some of your guys where they're struggling with this thing or this thing, and a lot of it was stuff like, you know, it's like, yeah, it pertains to golf, but it's like this might be important for like other stuff outside of you know, outside of just golf. I think there's so many things like that in life where you might learn it through this medium or this or that, but maybe take it to a further level and it can help you, whatever, be a better person or whatever. I'm not trying to preach too much, but anyway.
No, but it's good. That's exactly I want to have a segment in there that's called like More Than Golf. And it's like helping players and also like developing coaches to like help players through golf, because there's so many things like character traits and different things and that you learn through golf that's just like, it just exposes. Yeah, totally. I think it's an awesome way to develop a community around that.
Yeah, you touched on a lot of good things. I also like the accountability partner, and same thing. Like I dig like some stuff outside of just golf that I like about trying to be a better person. I'm just into that type of that world, and you can use that, you know, golf, but like in a million things, like, you know, and like you said, the percentage goes up higher, and I've learned that over time, and yeah, I've appreciated it. This has been cool. So thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, Rob, thank you so much for your time. This was excellent. Really thought it was informational, and I think our guys can get a lot out of it.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well,
All right,
guys, thank you so much for having me. Matt, is there any way that you and I could stay on here and then we just chat for a second, or can I give you a call then?
Yeah, can you give me a call? I've got a 10 o'clock call. Can you give me a call around 10:30?
I might be able to call you around like lunchtime. I'll just email me your cell phone number, and then we'll connect that way.
Okay, you got it.
All right, guys. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
if anybody wants to reach out to me, is there how do we want to do that?
Yeah, I'll send out a contact information to the folks who registered, and they can reach out to you that way.
Okay, awesome. All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, see you. Bye.